I know that Wish hasn't been critically acclaimed, and I know that it tanked at the box office on its opening weekend, but I have to be honest, I really liked it. I know it's not a perfect movie, and I think that some problematic aspects of the script could have been easily solved, but I still enjoyed it. I thought that it was a heartfelt film that tried to give the viewer a different perspective on some classic Disney animated movies. But paradoxically, I also think that this is where my problems with this movie start. Throughout the film, there are references to Disney classics. For example, there's an appearance of Peter Pan, who wishes to live in a land where no one grows up. However, you also see a poisoned apple, Mickey's magic hat, and a hidden Mickey during one scene. I know a big part of the marketing campaign was focused on Wish being a century in the making. However, I didn't actually think that they were going to include classic Disney elements. It probably would have been cool to have more explanation around these things, just to be sure if Neverland was Peter's wish that was later granted by Asha, who became Rosa's fairy godmother. This also confused me because she was dressed like Cinderella's fairy godmother and like Pinocchio's blue fairy. On the other hand, she doesn't really look the same, so I don't know if she adopts different forms depending on the time and probably the universe she's in. But all of these questions could have been easily avoided if they had just eliminated these elements from the script. I just don't think that they help the movie. Also, I think that the characters are kind of flat and that they change too much too quickly. Like Magnifico, who almost instantly reveals his true self to Asha. You would think that he would have been smarter considering that he's been ruling Rosas for who knows how long. And the underdevelopment of the characters also affect Asha's friends, because they're almost indistinguishable. I only remember the angry dude and the guy who's always sleepy or bored. It was also confusing why Asha wanted to become Magnifico's apprentice so badly in the first place. I guess this is some sort of unpaid internship, but what happened with previous apprentices? Do they have private magic practices and they grant you wishes if you have enough money? I thought this needed to be mentioned. By the way, I think those private practices would have succeeded, because I think it's very unlikely that Magnifico would grant everyone's wishes, considering that he grants around one wish every month. The whole premise of the movie is that Asha's grandfather is turning 100 years old like the Disney company, and he still hasn't received his wish. But there were many things that I actually liked about this movie. For example, the humor. I think the movie finds a great tone when Star is incorporated and starts to work as a comedic relief. It works because this Star is portrayed like a baby with superpowers, so it combines a baby's innocence with what seems to be unlimited power. This is why the character almost operates like Jack, like a powerful individual that doesn't fully understand his powers or use them. And I believe that it's also great that wishes are depicted in this movie like the defining element of every person. Usually, classic Disney movies portray wishes as a form of prayer that is later granted by a super powerful entity. And even though there are obviously elements of that in the premise of this movie, I think that the key is that Asha is fighting to give everyone their wishes back, so they can actually have a chance to make them real. I also think that the tone is well portrayed by the songs. However, Magnifico's villain song is not that sinister or anything resembling other Disney villains, which was quite strange, particularly if you consider Claude Frollo's song in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Nonetheless, I think that it was a great choice to have Magnifico as an evil king, because you don't usually see that in Disney movies. I mean, there's King Louis and King Candy, but usually the aristocracy is portrayed as a group of good people with good intentions doing good things. To become a king or princess is usually the aspiration of many characters. I thought that it was a good subversion of this classic trope. These pseudo-revolutionary elements combined with the songs that I mentioned actually made me feel something, an achievement that other Disney movies like Strange World don't have. And that's why I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I wanted to give it a higher score, but I can't ignore the negative points I've mentioned. But what do you think? Do you give it a higher or lower score? Comment below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and for now, I'm out.